Good morning. It's Tuesday, and on Tuesdays, where do we go? We pack up our bags, pick our passports, and travel by faith to the country that God sends us to. My name is Purity. I'm glad that you're watching. I've been talking about my experience moving from Kenya, my home country, my motherland, to the UAE, my new country, where I've been living with my family for the last almost 7 years. Wow, God is good. So I've been talking about, the experience, getting the job, looking for accommodation. Do you go driving? What kind of community do you want to stay in? What are you thinking in terms of schools? Do you need to go with a house help? That in a nutshell. Today I just want to share my experience, how it was like for me coming to Dubai for the very first time, and relocating with my son and my cousin. My cousin and I are the ones who helped take care of our baby for the time with my husband. So we pack our bags. Why am I laughing? We packed a lot of flour. You are going to this country. Will you ever find maize? Do you even know whether they have the ability to have maize in that nation? So we went to the supermarket and bought a 20-kilo bale of maize flour. Oh dear. And we also got 20 kilos of familiar uji. For those of you who don't know what uji is porridge. Don't want us to go to a new country and starve the baby. So we had 40 kilos of flour, not knowing what you're going to find in this new nation. Do you want to starve and miss our popular ugali? Ugali is a very popular dish in Africa. Some call it pap, some call it ugali. Has many names depending on the country that someone is coming from. So we pack up our things. It's just me and my cousin and my son, because my husband had already gone ahead. So we pack up and off to the airport, and our families took us to the airport. And as always, we traveled. It was actually an amazing experience with my son, because he was just 1 year old and he just slept throughout. We got to our destination and then we landed there, and all the thoughts in my head: how am I gonna find my husband? How is he gonna find us? This is the funny part. When we were leaving JKIA, if you're like me, who had never left JKIA for another airport before, had only left JKIA for Mombasa International Airport. So JKIA for me was grand. And I was one of those people who, when we were living in the village, we would have one friend going to maybe the USA and would pack ourselves in a matatu. Matatu is a public means in Kenya. We'd pack ourselves in a matatu and you'd go to the airport. And you can't go beyond the gates for those who are traveling. And you could only look and see the escalators. Is it escalators or elevators or accelerators? But you can just see them going up, and it's like, wow, it's grand. Oh dear me. I landed at one of the most busiest, to just make the point, go home, airport. And I think we landed at around 5 a.m. And the way naturally back at home, when you're back at home in Kenya, like when it's 5 a.m., it's supposed to be a quiet night, dark and stars. But we land at 5 a.m. in this airport, and the stars and the light is bright and it's humongous. And I'm like, what is this. It was big and bright and beautiful. Gotta keep it together for the child. And so my husband comes and picks us. It's amazing. I'm like, how did you even do that? In my mind, traffic in Nairobi cannot allow me to think of someone coming to pick me early in the morning and then go to work. You'll just be stuck in traffic. That was then, before the expressway. So my husband is here with his bag and he's ready for work. And I'm like, you're gonna get so late, stuck in traffic. So he took us. This is the funniest part. So my husband had shopped. So he took us with the bags and we get into this taxi and we go to our first home in the UAE. But my husband does something, according to which is very, very strange. He takes the shopping and places the shopping at the staircases, at the stairway, next to this entrance of this beautiful apartment. And then he leaves it there. And in my head, we used to live in Kabete, Lower Kabete in Kenya. In my head, I'm like, what? Should I go guard the paper bags, the shopping? Or should I go and help pack the things and, unpack things and pick up the things that have been removed from the taxi? And I'm really thinking I should go and guard the shopping. How can he just put it at the staircase? And I'm like, you just left the shopping there. And my husband actually also goes and puts his laptop back there. I'm like, this is how you get robbed in a new country on day one with your shopping. And my husband tells me, actually, no one can take it. And that was my first welcome in the UAE. I'm like, what do you mean? No one will touch it. What? No. What do you mean no one will touch it? No one will just wait for us to turn around for 2 seconds and just, before we know it, we have no shopping for the house and we've just arrived. No one will touch it. I'm like, what? What is this? It takes, I think that the reason why it's a culture shock is because in the mind, it takes an undoing of how you've been doing life to be able to get that. It's just, you look around and you're like, maybe my husband needs me to, go guard that shopping. And I'm like, for my peace, let me just stand next to the shopping. I just don't want it to be carried away. But sincerely, no one will touch it. And it's not like there are no people. There are taxis, there are people who are also coming in and going out, there are people who are driving, there are people walking. It's 5 a.m., 5:30, 6 a.m. Wow. So I think my husband had taken that day off. And then he decided, because now we were all tired, and I think for me, so just to help you understand how they're coming into the house after getting shocked that no one will touch our shopping. So we get the things and he takes us into a house. Our first house was a 2-bedroom. It was small and beautiful and it was fully furnished. So why am I telling you this? You might want to consider, if you're not moving with your furniture, you might want to consider maybe taking a house that is fully furnished if you're not very particular about the furnishing at the moment, but just get good furnishing and settle in there as you get to understand your environment. Not everyone is like that. I have friends who've come in, taken their time and found what they needed. I have those who even come in just to get the shopping and everything ready to go. They get the house in order and then they maybe travel out to finish what they needed in the country and then they come in straight into the house with everything they've bought. So it depends on you, but for us, we moved into a furnished apartment and with everything fully furnished. I mean, this is your fully furnished apartment with everything, to the beddings, to your spoon, to everything. So all we needed to do was just bring in our food and clothes. So it was an easier landing for us. What my husband did was he got a baby cot for my son, because he was still small. I need to remember to always say our son, not always saying my son. It looks like what is this my business anyway. So this is my first culture shock. I go and I'm told no one will touch whatever shopping we've put outside our house. So we go into the house, and then I think we made breakfast, and then my husband decides to just take me to go and see where I will be shopping. Me, I was going to my Mama Mboga, and I had this Mama Mboga guy who would even go for his market shopping, and would also shop for me. So, I had gotten my market activity in order back in Kenya, because then before my cousin came to help me with my son, I would just strap him on my shoulders, and we go walk, we pick our shopping, and we go home, and we're happy. So, my husband takes me out for shopping. So, if you're like me, I like shopping, but I want it to go to the point. I find everything to the point, and I pick, no exhaustion. I almost want, like, at the counter, I am done shopping and I go. My sister, on the other hand, she knows herself. I think she enjoys shopping, loves shopping. I am the opposite. I just want to pick and go, and I can get overwhelmed if I am staying there too long to think, is it blue or red? So my husband takes me to the shop. So I don't remember whether that was the first time he took me to the train station, because he also needed to settle us quickly so that on the Monday he would also be back to work. So I think we traveled on a Friday. Surprise, surprise. So he takes me for shopping, our next Mama Mboga space. And he takes me to, if you've been to UAE, there's a shop, there's a mall. Everything is a mall, big and grand. He takes me to this Carrefour in the Mall of the Emirates, if you've been there. And I start going around. First, he tells me, you need to carry something warm. I'm like, no, the weather is very nice. My husband is like, you need to carry something warm. I'm like, no, the weather is very nice. We landed in October. The weather was just, beautiful. I'm like, the weather is so nice. My husband is like, you need to carry something warm. I really don't remember whether I listened. I could also pull that stubbornness of thinking, now I know, I've just landed, I know everything. That's my falling. And then he inside into the taxi. Freezing. What is this AC business? Mimi I'm here from Lower Kabete, where the cold, the cold is out there, we wear jackets. But not outside is warm, and then inside the car is freezing. Freezing in the taxi to the mall. And then we enter this mall. And there is endless shops. And there's, of course, I'm like, oh, it's beautiful and whatnot. And then I enter Carrefour, Mall of Emirates. And I'm like, what? How do you can even get lost. You can even lose yourself in there as you're shopping. How am I supposed to find myself? Of course, my husband had been helped to find his way around. So he was just showing me this, okay, what do we buy? I'm excited. And then I find like one item with varieties from different nations, different countries, different words. Like, I'm like, wow. For the first few days, it was exciting for me, but I'm like, you need to find and identify now, because then it's learning everything afresh. Which cooking oil will you use? Which salt? which is it pink or white, or just learning everything afresh in terms of shopping. What will you be buying? What kind of rice? What kind of beans? It's like finding your mama mboga again, but this new mama mboga has variety that you need to choose from and choose and settle from. But it was interesting. It was interesting to just be the village girl, having gone all the way to this shopping place, and I'm like, and because my husband had told me to wear something warm, it was freezing. It was cold. It is freezing indoors. And I'm thinking, it's so cold. Goosebumps. Why didn't I carry a sweater? I don't remember whether I did anyway. It's been 7 years, but wow. That was my day one, landing in the UAE. I think my husband also took me, I can't remember whether it was on the first day, but he took me also to the train network. We didn't have a car. We came in and we had gotten a house that was accessible to the metro station. So we could walk to the train and some few minutes, I think 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes walk to the train. That sounds very good in good weather, but in summer, that's a long walk. That's a very long walk. You need a taxi to take you to the train, or just take the taxi to the destination. But then the beauty of also our location, we had a bus that would pick us from outside the apartment to the train station. So the network connectivity for us was amazing. He showed me how to take the bus, how to go to the train, how to move from one destination to another, how to understand which train is going where. And that was day one. And I entered the nation, and now it's been 7 years, almost 7 years. So it will officially be 7 years in October, end of September, beginning of October. It's been amazing. It has been very interesting. It has been a lot of learning. It has been a lot of unlearning. There are so many things that I have learned through people especially, through different cultures, through different experiences. And this was now the other surprising thing for me was that the week was starting on the Sunday and ending on the Thursday, the work week. It was just amazing. So we would go to church on Fridays. We'd go to church on Friday, and then Friday, the weekend was on Friday and Saturday. And so when our people are at work back in Kenya, everyone is working on Friday and people are in school. We're like, we're in church, we've gone to the beach, we have gone out to have some fun, or we are just at home resting or visiting. And then on Saturday, we are always, all of us are over on the weekends. And then on Sunday, when our people back at home are telling us about church and they're resting, and for us, we're like, this is our first work day of the week. And they're like, is the Friday before the Saturday? What's happening there? So yeah, beautiful things. That was the beginning of our 7 years in the UAE. So now I'm gonna just share with you my experiences my family has had in this place, how it is like, and in terms of faith, school, accommodation, in terms of the culture, the people, the interactions, in terms of job searching. What has my experience been compared to my husband's? We actually are in the same family, married couple with children, but different experiences. What is it like? What was it like in COVID? What was it like in COVID? What was it like getting a baby here? Because our second born was born here in COVID times. What is it like? What are the hospitals like? What is schooling like? What is church like? How are the beaches? How can you be in the desert and still have a beach? Do you even have trees? yeah, for those of you who've traveled in here, I hope you've gotten the chance to really explore. And I also hope that as I'm sharing this, if you're thinking of traveling next time, you ask to be shown more, or you also do your research and find out how you can come and maximally enjoy visiting this nation. So thank you so much. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the views. I really appreciate them. Thank you for the comments. And feel free to ask me questions. Things that I will know. There are things that I can check with my friends who live here. There are things that I will not know. Maybe my friends don't know. And I'll tell you, I don't know. Just research and tell us more. But I'm really hoping that this helps you if you're thinking of traveling here. This helps you if you're thinking of moving here. And this helps you in terms of, whatever decisions you're making in terms of your relationship with you. Maybe you're in here and you just are trying to also figure out what's all this, what's going on, how do I even find my feet here. I'll try to share as much as possible that I've learned in the 7 years, that I've experienced, that I'm unlearning for the 7 years. And yeah, awesome. God bless you. Lovely time. Thank you so much.